This is the Rangers POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Texas Rangers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Well, after taking 3 out of 4 from the Red Sox, the Rangers went into Cincinnati and did not have any sock against the Reds, who blew them out by the final of 14-3 as we continue to wait for the Rangers offense to arrive to start the season as well, though they did score some runs at home. I'm being a little dramatic here, but nonetheless, thought tonight would be different. It did not go that way, and the Reds get a big win, 14-3. They blow out the Rangers. Here we go. Welcome into the Rangers POSTCAST, your team every day, and in our case, your team every single game. I am Jeff Biggs, longtime host and reporter. Thank you for watching Locked On Sports Rangers, your destination after every single game. You can also find us on the Locked On Rangers podcast feed, where you will find the outstanding work of Bryce Patrick every single day. One thing I'll say about Bryce, great guy, number one, most importantly, but number two, every time I watch one of Bryce's episodes, which is every day, I learn something new. And I mean that sincerely, not as flattery. He does a great job, and not much good to say about this one tonight, except maybe the first home run as a Ranger for Jake Burger, or how about Ezekiel Duran, the closer? I'm kidding. All right, lots to get to. We're not going to be here real long hammering this one, but let's get right to it.
This is what you'll be talking about.
Of course, we are going to talk about the season debut for Kumar Rocker, who was rocked by the Reds in Cincinnati. I'll have a breakdown on what happened tonight. Tough way to start the season for Kumar after the way the rest of the rotation with Nate Eovaldi and everybody else did during that 4-game homestand. Jack Leiter, Jacob deGrom yesterday. I was hoping that Kumar would be able to kind of keep that going on the road. It did not work out that way for him. Also, on a positive note, welcome back, right, to – why is that? Hold on one second. I'm sorry about that. I just saw that. That was not up there. Okay. Forgive me, you guys. I'm doing this on the fly. I have 2 different studios, and they made a new one for the Rangers is probably the best way that I can describe it. And this computer goes back and forth between the new one and the old one. So I was all set up with the new graphics for tonight, and it went to the old one from yesterday. And I don't know why that happened. And this is live, and so I'm not going to make excuses for it. There we go. All right. Well, welcome back to Corey Seager and Josh Smith. That was a positive note. Good to see them both back on the field today. I mentioned home run number 1 for Jake Burger. Without a doubt, though, the turning point in this one today for sure had to be the start for Kumar Rocker.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
Well, we can look at it both ways. And by the way, I want to hear from you via the comment crew. We're going to jump in and get to your comments in just a moment. But Kumar Rocker, we know about the background. We know about the stuff. We know about the strength, the poise, the control, just the way that he carries himself. And those are all legit, and those are all going to be good things. But in this game tonight, the Reds get 3 in the bottom of the first, 3 more in the bottom of the second, and that was pretty much the ball game. I thought for Kumar Rocker, I thought right away in that first inning, the fastball command was not there, and they jumped all over him. I mean, Friedel got that hit, and then the home run by Matt McCain, I mean, that was dead red, no pun intended. And so from that point on, and again, we're talking about early in the game, you saw that Rocker was just trying to stick with his breaking stuff and primarily the hard slider. And that was working. I mean, he was doing better, right? Got out of it. And then in the second inning, he was doing that. And then he tried to go back to the fastball again. And it just, it wasn't his night tonight for fastball command. And they jumped all over him. Rocker, like I said, he was doing good with that. Tried to go back. Trevino, the former Ranger, got a hit. I thought losing McLean, because McLean got the home run in the first, and I thought losing McLean with that walk after 0-2, I thought that got to his head a little bit. I think that kind of took something out of him a little bit. I think that was a real point of frustration for him, and it affected him a little bit for sure. I think he had to be probably more harder on himself than anything else, right? And then Ellie De La Cruz, who had a monster night with 7 RBIs and the big home. I mean, he just, similar to Adolis Garcia, just hit that hanging breaking ball and absolutely crushed it to center field. I mean, just left center, just crushed it. And as we saw as the game went on, it was picked up that Cruz had one of those torpedo bats that the Yankees have been using. And so just like that, it was 6-0. Rocker ends up 3 innings, 6 runs, 7 hits, 2 walks, 3 Ks, and 2 home runs. Went, I guess, a little bit better, a little further than Tyler Mahle did. But again, tough night for the bullpen. Thankfully, Bruce Bochy didn't give in. I love that about Bruce. He is stubborn in a good way and went with Mark Church. And then it was just a really forgettable night for Garabito. And then Duran, hey, got the scoreless inning there. It's not funny. I know it's one game and you get this out of your system and all the other cliches. I don't like games like this. They're ugly. I don't like to see any team give up 14 runs. I don't care. Not in the big leagues. That's just me. I know it's a different time now. Offense is different, but that was ugly. It was cold. It was just not a good night all the way around. And so the good news is you've got Nate Eovaldi on the mound tomorrow, and a good opportunity, I think, for this Rangers offense to get going in game 2 tomorrow night. But, we shall see. All right, we're going to take our first time out. When we come back, I want to hear from you via the comment crew. Also, we will get to our player of the game. Now, obviously, if this was just a, neutral baseball podcast, we would say Ellie De La Cruz was the player of the game. But since this is the Rangers podcast, spoiler alert, I'm always going to pick a Rangers player as player of the game. So just a little tease there for that. All right. Quick timeout. When we come back, thoughts from you via the comment crew. This is the Rangers POSTCAST. All right, we mentioned FanDuel and everything that they got going on, and it's a good time for FanDuel. And March Madness is here, as you know, and FanDuel is giving you the chance to get in on the action like never before. Right now, new customers can get $200 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. That's 200 extra bucks to use on everything from buzzer beaters to Cinderella stories and even who is cutting down the nets. You can pick your favorites. I was able to pick 3 out of 4 to go to the Final Four. FanDuel makes it easy to back them with spreads, totals, and game props. You can stay in the action. There is always something exciting to bet on. And of course, with the Final Four now set, that will be cool as well. The FanDuel app is really simple to use, and when you win, you get paid instantly, no waiting around. So visit FanDuel.com, get in on the college hoops action all tournament long. Okay, welcome back to the Rangers postcast. Rangers get blown out by the Reds, 14-3. Rough start for Kumar Rocker, who again just did not have the command, and I'm sure pitching in the cold didn't help. And I was encouraged by the hard slider that he threw, and I think next start out at home, I think will be better for him. And again, hopefully we'll see the Rangers offense get going here. All right, before I get to the player of the game, let's get some thoughts from you via the comment crew. Joshua says, let's pretend that didn't happen. Derek Garcia, rough one tonight. Rosetta is calling out Ranger fans after the Red Sox series. Tex Hobby Bin says, Jeff helps me cope with the L. Thank you for that. I appreciate that sincerely. Keith says, nights like this will happen. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Like I said, I just don't like to see blowout losses like this. But a couple of things. Number one, Adolis Garcia had another double. And if I'm not mistaken, all of his hits so far, all of Garcia's hits so far have been extra base hits. So that's good. I mean, I talked about him the other night when he had the monster game, that he, to me, just an energized, fired up, well playing Garcia is really, he's the straw that stirs the drink, literally. And so that was good. Our player of the game, this one should be easy. Not a lot to choose from in this one tonight, but we do it anyway. That's what I'm told to do, so let's do it.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
Got to give it up to Jake Berger, right? Getting his first home run as a Ranger. Good for Jake. I think he's going to have a good season. What I like about Jake also, he's actually, I think, better defensively than most people think. I like his defensive prowess, and I think he's a great fastball hitter, and I think he is going to have a good season here with the Rangers. So good for him. I don't know what was going on with Mark Church tonight. I don't know if if Bruce was mad at him because his hat kept falling off. It struck me watching him pitch. Does anyone else see a little bit of a resemblance between Church and Texans quarterback C.J. Stroud? Just a little bit, tiny little bit. I don't know. But I was talking yesterday about the splitter, and he was throwing some kind of a split pitch. I don't know if it was as they said on the broadcast, they were calling it a sprinkler or a splinkler, I would call it, but that was good. But the way that he got pulled and the way that went down, that was kind of weird. I don't know what was going on with that. All right, so, and let's see, Gio says, good thing the Rangers could still win the series over the Reds. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You got Nate Eovaldi on the mound tomorrow. I'm looking forward to see him. I mean, he's one of those guys now with the way that he looked in the opener with his stuff. You look forward to watching him pitch. I mean, I'm like that with the entire rotation, but I still think, I mean, this is such a Cincinnati, that Great American Ballpark is such a hitter-friendly ballpark. I really believe before the Rangers leave town, they're going to have one of these types of games for sure. And Brady Singer, the Red starter tonight, who came over from the Royals, they pointed out he's given up like 42 home runs over the last two seasons. I mean, that's a lot. But remember I was talking the other day about how first month and a half or so, pitchers that can throw breaking stuff or can mix it up a little bit, they have an advantage for about the first month and a half. And he was like the perfect example of that tonight. Perfect example of that kind of guy, that fourth or fifth rotation guy that that can get out there, and he'll look good. He'll probably have 4 or 5 kind of real good quality starts, and then you get into May, and then everything will change just like that. So anyway, that's that. Shallow Water says, let's just forget today ever happened. Yeah, absolutely. So I'm looking forward to tomorrow. Like I said, I'm glad that Corey Seager was back out there. Glad that Josh Smith was back out there and that he's okay. He'll get some playing time with the other Josh Young on the DL for 10 days. And that's it. I mean, the Rangers will get back at it tomorrow and try to take game 2 with Nate Eovaldi on the mound. With that said, thank you for those of you that jumped in, took the time to get in. I appreciate you very much. We'll do it again after game number 2 tomorrow night. Please join me then if you can. Don't forget, Bryce Patrick will be back tomorrow with more on the Rangers podcast, more of a deeper dive and a breakdown of this one. Tough opener for the Rangers tonight in Cincinnati. They fall to the Reds 14-3. They'll try to bounce back tomorrow. Thank you for being with me tonight. This has been the Rangers Postcast. Have a great night.